Hello everyone, and I hope you're all doing very well. So today is something a bit more serious and not as nice to talk about, but it just needs doing. I apologise, I've been putting this video off for, I don't know, weeks now because I just don't know how to make it. Everything I've planned just hasn't worked, and so we're just going to fuddle our way through it. It's the best I can offer. Right, so we're in GR, as you know, and we've got some good friends in GR. And one of them is in need of help from our group, our community, everyone that follows us, everyone that's, you know, the big thing that we are, thousands of people looking after one another. And the man in question is a rather nice chap known as Dove. I won't say his real name because I forgot to ask his permission. I'd just better be careful just in case. I call him Dove. His real name is Dove Enigma 13. You will have seen, if you follow us on social media and you do Facebook, he kindly took over the looking after the Facebook for me. So if you talk to us on Facebook, it's actually Dove that you're talking to. It's not me. Just one of the many things I just never get time for. And if you watch our Armour 3 matches, you'll see that he comes along there and does his infantryman work on that. And if you watch our DCS videos, you may remember him. He used to fly DCS with us, but he doesn't anymore. He can't for reasons that we'll go through in a bit, which is linked to what all this is about. So Dove has fallen on hard times. He's had hard times for many years now, which is actually kind of how we met. But he's got to a point where he's in real trouble now, and at this point, you know, we have to step in and sort things out. It's just what we do as fellow humans. And when something like this comes along, you just realise how lucky you are. I mean, I've had a monster of a year, as you lot know, and yeah, you know, makes me feel incredibly humbled and lucky compared to Dove's situation. So I'm just going to read it out. I've tried reading this before, but I couldn't because as soon as I do, all of the smells, the sounds, everything comes back from Ward D9 in hospital when I was doing my cancer treatment a few months ago, and it just literally becomes impossible. So I'm just going to read it out live. Now, I didn't want to guess anything or assume anything and get stuff wrong, so I just asked Dove to write a statement. I asked him to write a bit about his background and a bit about what he's going through and why he needs help at the moment. So we'll just read it out together and then have a chat about it at the end. So this is Dove. I don't actually know how old he is. I think he's about my age. I'm what, 38? I think. He's about my age, a little bit older. I graduated high school in 1996. I didn't do much, so I enlisted in the army in 1998. I don't really want to talk too much about it and can't remember much, but I went to Fort Benning, GA, whatever that means, for OSUT infantry training. Started working at the State Department, correct? Right, so that's that little bit there. So typical Dove, he doesn't want to talk about it. Like a lot of army guys, I don't want to say the wrong thing now. A lot of armed forces guys, Dove's, he'll never say it, but he is pretty messed up about this. So if you ever go in the armor games when we're with him and we ask him questions about his infantry days, and because when he was in action, he will never talk about it. Literally, you know, he just won't say anything. And I'm not much good about talking about that kind of stuff. I'm just not built like that. But we have Alison, my Alison, who kind of acts as the groups of Grim Reapers. I don't know, Agni Aunt maybe is the right word. I don't really know. And I mean, not to put too fine a point on it, but Dove is pretty fucked up by his time in the army, to say the least. And I know that's not specific to Dove. There are a lot of people that are fucked up from, you know, being in the army and seeing whatever you get to see in the army. I'm sure it's not very nice. I'm sure some people have a whale of a time, but some people don't do so good on it. And that is Dove, and this isn't really relevant to today, but that's just more of a general statement about what happens to people, some people in the infantry with post-traumatic stress disorder when it can get bad and out of control. But he said he doesn't want to talk about it, so that's fine. Started working at the State Department of Corrections. So what is that? That's jails and stuff, isn't it? God, sorry, I've forgotten the English word for it, but if you know what I mean. In 2005 to 2016, I left there to go to nursing school, that is very admirable. After getting cancer, I had to drop out because of the brain tumour, surgery, and treatment. That's really sad. Again, I go off in another direction, tangent, like I always do. Nursing, you don't really think about much about nurses, and you just think they're kind of a low-paid kind of civil servants until you've needed them, like I did, and all of a sudden, whenever you hear that someone's a nurse, you kind of want to stand up and clap. At least in England, I don't know if it's the same in the rest of the world, but in England they're not treated very well, and the job they do is pretty amazing. I'm not going to lie. I've seen it from the inside out. Got some horrible stories, but we're not going to talk about that. I had to drop out because of brain tumour, surgery, and treatment. I'm not as proud of my part. I'm not as proud of my past as what I had planned to do with my future, and ended up doing nothing. I know the feeling. I know the feeling. Things didn't work out how I planned them either. I wanted to help some people instead of hurting. That's why I don't want to talk about this stuff too much. I've always wanted to help others, just didn't understand where I wanted to be until it was too late. Well, we've made it through paragraph 1. Further than I've got so far. So we're going to go for paragraph 2. We'll just get through. We'll plug away. We'll just get through this. I was diagnosed in early 2015 with melanoma. My understanding of that is it's a skin cancer. I'm sure it's not very nice. I didn't have anything on my skin. I found it by having a huge lymph node on my neck that didn't go down. I got the same thing. Strangely, my cancer's in remission now. It's dying off. We're down to 13 centimeters on my main tumor, which is still like fist size, but it's it's half as big as it was. But I've still got that lymph node on my neck sticks out. I don't think it'll ever go away. It's kind of a reminder. My neck that didn't go down made me go to my doctor to get it checked out. All the doctors were concerned about lymphoma at first. That's what they thought mine was at first as well, because the lymph nodes were just massive. At first, since it starts like that pretty often, yes. But it ended up a lot worse than lymphoma. So kind of where our stories kind of differ. Mine ended up going from lymphoma to actually being testicular cancer. And testicular cancer is not very nice, I'm not going to lie. I've got some pretty nasty shit fucking stories about it, but in some ways it's actually better than lymphoma. In a modern country, unless you're in the later stages, it's relatively hard to actually die of testicular cancer, at least on the kind of first, when it hits you for the first time. It's different down the line when it turns into other things, but So mine was kind of an improvement, but Dove's was worse. He thought he had lymphoma, but then had surgery to remove the infected node, and others in my neck have a big ear-to-ear scar on my neck from that. Then 20 doses of radiation, hopefully keeping it from continuing to spread. Radiotherapy, a lot of you, I've never had it, radiotherapy. A lot of you will tell me that's very nasty shit. My mum had that with her cancer. Cancer obviously is in my family, and I remember that. Not very nice at all. Woo! Hopefully keeping it from continuing to spread. Every weekday for a month had radiation treatment to my neck. Caused a lot of pain, like skin and throat were burning. Made me not smell or taste for months after lots of fatigue and tiredness. Yes, that's the same one. Chemotherapy as well, not very nice. Then started Yervoy treatment, which had horrible side effects, but had evidence it was working by having lumps of necrotic tissue on my chest and lungs. Appeared the melanoma had started to spread, but was killed by the treatment. What Yervoy? There's no fucking way I'm going to look that up, because it's just going to be mean as shit, but I haven't heard of that. Yervoy, however, it doesn't cross the blood-brain barrier. Oh, for fuck's sake. That I learned later. I ignored the symptoms of brain tumour for too long. And this is the fucked up thing about cancer. This is the thing that I think about every day, is that you have your cancer and it's whatever it is, you know, it's your primary. And you can treat that. But what it does is it spreads then. It can come back even 20 years later. And when it does, it can quite often affect somewhere more vulnerable, like it has with Dove: brain, lungs, kidney, and that's how it gets you. It's very, very nasty stuff. I'm not gonna or it was a side effects from the treatment. One day I couldn't type or talk anything that made sense. My oncology nurse practically forced me to go to the hospital. MRI showed a 7 times 3 times 3 tumour. So that's fucking big for the brain. Near and on the Broca's area of my brain that caused my problems with language and problems with problem solving. It hurt part of my brain that would help me realise something was wrong and kept me from telling people about it. Pretty evil little bastard. My brain surgeon was incredibly talented. I had radiation and started Keytruda after that. Keytruda supposedly can cross the blood-brain barrier to help from growing new brain tumours. Luckily, it worked for me, since people usually live less than a year after it spreads to the brain. Either the medicine has been a miracle for me, or I got extremely lucky to still be here. I found the Grim Reapers after getting into DCS and World, and looked for videos of missions on YouTube. It was right after the Elite Dangerous expedition that was put for me by many people, and I needed a break from Elite, so I started DCS. So yeah, that's how we met Dove. We were on social media, and someone sent us a message on Facebook saying, hey, check out this guy, he's struggling, and people have put a massive Elite Dangerous in another video game, a big expedition for him to raise awareness, raise money, whatever, for him, and do that. And we immediately contacted them. I mean, this is before my cancer, before I even gave a shit about cancer, to be honest. Or, you know, you just don't think about it, or, you know. So yeah, we sent him a message and said, come fly with us, and he did. And obviously, like most people that come fly with us, loved it, and obviously started flying with us, and has been a member of it ever since. He's been hooked. I followed the videos, talked to everybody, and made a lot of friends on the Reapers Discord channel. I learned as much as I could about how the group works together and how to fly DCS to be an asset, which is all about what it is. A difference being in a group and being a solo player. Is in a group, you think about the group. You don't think about you. You don't think about how many kills you get. You don't think about how you can enjoy yourself. That's what a lot of people don't understand. And you think how you can be an asset to the group, and how you help the group. Okay. And we're in the lucky position that most people in GR understand that, but a lot of, anyway. I then joined as many missions as I could to show that I could what I could do. Joined up as an official member and continued to do everything I could to help everybody in and out of the simulator. Since I had Arma 3, I decided I might as well play that game as well, which has been great. Arma 3 isn't as demanding and unless I'm really sick, I can play Arma 3. I mean, that's the main reason why I've stuck with Arma. It's not as demanding. DTS, obviously, you know, I'm not dying anymore, but I am struggling, obviously, still. And DTS is very demanding. It really is. It's exhausting. And it sounds stupid, you know, sitting with my fake controller and stuff and staring at a screen, but your brain just has to work overtime on it, and all the mission video editing is bloody exhausting. Arma is a break for me. And that's why I've always been able to do Arma. That's why I could do Arma even in my chemo. Some of it I could do Arma, but I couldn't do DCS. I was asked to help keep the Reapers Facebook page up to date and happily agreed to help. It's been great fun communicating with the fans and sharing interesting things. My daughter is now 7 and will be starting 2nd grade soon. I'm not sure. Oh, I have to be careful what to say. I mean, obviously it's not a happy family there. Obviously they're you know, Dove broke from his partner, and so you know, only gets to see his daughter sometimes. Obviously it's not very nice. I mean, a lot of people have been through that. She has sat with me and watched me fly my spaceship, then aeroplanes and helicopters for many hours. She's absolutely loved just watching, but has grown up a little now and likes to play her own games as well. She loves Sim 4 and Job Simulator. Jesus Christ, they simulate jobs. That's the opposite of what... Oh, God. Unbelievable. I heard there was a game called Farming Simulator the other day where you pretend to be a farmer. It's like... Oh, I'm not going to get into it. She has been my biggest reason why I still fight against cancer. I always look forward to say that I will make sure I make it to her birthday and for her Christmas. One more. I've been pretty stable, no large tumours for a while, which has been incredible, just dealing with the damage of the brain cancer has caused. Still have very strong fatigue, problems focusing for long. Still have language problems and chronic pain. He does very well. I thankfully haven't gotten worse, but I haven't got much better since brain tumour and treatments for it. For some reason I was changed to Medicare, which makes me need to pay for some medical stuff instead of being free for me, which means I've missed scans. So it's understating it as ever. Basically, that I don't understand how it works in America. I'm not particularly interested. I get the feeling it's not very nice. Over here, I'm very lucky. I get my treatment for free. My cancer treatment costs £80,000, which I couldn't have afforded, and obviously I would have just died. But they paid for it for me, everything completely for free. Very lucky. And I don't know how, like I said, I don't know how it works in America. It's not. But he's got to the point where he has to pay with his own money to carry on and do the scans. The way it works the way cancer treatment works is you have some medicine, you know, whatever that is, treatment, and then to analyse, and that treatment, if it works or doesn't work, because cancer is such a bastard, it's a treatment that works for someone won't work for someone else. Okay, so what you do is you have your treatment, you wait a little bit, you have your scan, and that tells the doctor, yes, this is working, no, this isn't working. Now the problem we've got with Dove is that he can no longer afford his scans. He can't have them. So essentially it means he can't have his treatment. So he'll just die. So needless to say, it's high time we interjected. And yeah, woo, that's taken everything out of me. Got to take a break, and it is when you go. I'm feeling pretty terrific at the moment because compared to what I was, you know, yeah, that stuff really destroys you. And so to write something like this has taken Dove a vast amount of time. Now, Dove is not unique. There are many people, you know, by the law of averages, there are many people watching this video right now that have got something similar to Dove, or better, or worse, or whatever. That's how it is, and I apologise. I can't help you guys. I would like to do it for all of you, but I can't do that. All I can do is Dove. So the reason Dove stopped playing, he never told any of us because that's how he is. The reason he stopped playing it is because he had to sell his VR to fund his treatment. He just disappeared. He stopped turning up and didn't tell anyone. He just had to sell his motorcycle. Maybe I'll jump over to, in the pages, I'll jump over to, you know, we're working with the guys, the sick guys, just a good pair of boys. And they are raising money for Dove, and what we're doing is we're kind of tagging, we're giving it some weight. That's what I'm doing. Just let me try and find it. Here it is. I will link this to you. This is Dove's Just Giving thing. Okay. This is set up, I think, by James from Sick. Sorry if I'm wrong. So this is James. We're raising what James is doing, and I will link James's video as well. What he's doing, he's biking across America to raise money for Dove, which is, again, incredibly admirable thing to do. And I want to add some weight to it and add our help. Here's James's page. We're raising £250 to a cancer scan, for a good biker. We're paying for a bit of his treatment, paying for a scan that he can't afford. He sold everything, he's got nothing left. Dove was a biker who had to sell his bike to pay for medical costs. James is a disabled man from the UK about to go biking tour in the US and blog it in honour of his biker brother. He would like to raise some money to help his biker brother get a scan and make sure that everything is okay. Okay. So I'm presuming that's Dove's bike. Just to be absolutely clear, I do not want to buy Dove's bike back. I'm sure he'd love it, but I am disgusted by motorcycles. I've seen too many people die from them. I know that's not going to be very popular between probably everyone watching, but I think they're terrible things. So I'll be quite happy if Dove never gets his motorcycle back. Probably getting in trouble for that, aren't I? So that's it. We're trying to raise £250 for his latest scan. Okay, so I will link that page. I mean, I want to actually, before I leave this page, I'm going to do my donation today, maybe tomorrow, depending when my PayPal comes through. And James said there's some problems donating. He's had some problems donating with English currency. I'll find out, when I do my donation, what the problem is. If there is a problem, I'll write it in the video description of this video you're watching now. Whatever the solution is, if not, then if it goes through fine, then I won't. So, what are we doing today? And I apologise for using so much of your time. People's time is valuable. But yeah, sometimes you just have to. We'd like to raise £250. That's $350 for his latest scan. I think the combined might can do that. I want Dove back in DCS because he enjoys it and he deserves it. And so I'd really like us to raise enough money to buy his VR back. I do not want to purchase his motorcycle, but I would like to raise as much as we can for him because he needs it. I won't tell you everything because I haven't been given permission to, but the man is in very dire straits and needs our help at this point. So I hope we can step up and get that done. I think I'm just dawdling now, aren't I? If I just carry on, I don't think I'm going to add anything to this. So that's it. Brought back a lot of nasty memories. And I can only, for anyone who is suffering from cancer out there, I can only sympathise with how bad it is. It's pretty bad. And how lucky I am at the moment not to be going through that. And anyone else who's in good health at the moment. I know people have got problems and stuff, but if you are in good health at the moment, you are an incredibly lucky human, and do something good with that, I implore. Okay, right, I'll sign out. I won't say I hope you enjoyed that, because I'm sure you didn't, but yeah, there you go. I'll see you later.